Hi, shalom friends. We live in extraordinary times, good times, happy times. It's a time when I'm focusing in particular Jews in America are well accepted, and there's prosperity, and by and large, to the greatest extent in the knowledge of Jewish history, there we are secure in a land of kindness, and yet every one of us is told to pray for the coming of Mashiach. Not only to pray, but to anticipate and to look forward to it. And you say, hold it. Mashiach isn't Mashiach, so when things are bad, the Mashiach will come and save us. But who has to be saved today? Of course, the counter-argument would be, well, how do you know it will stay? So maybe our prayer should be, dear God, make sure that the ruling authorities and the prevailing mood in America should always be positive, should always be moral, should always be accepting of your holy people, the Jewish people. In other words, pray that the Goyim be good. Why we go to Israel? Well, let me take you back to Jewish history. Jewish history, the Jewish people leave Egypt, and that's not the generation that enters Israel. Actually, it's their children and perhaps grandchildren that enter Israel. And of course, the Chumash, the Bible, relates to us the circumstances by telling us that they were frightened to enter Israel. They weren't sure. They said it's a very powerfully fortified land. So Hashem said, you're not ready for them, and you're not ready to fight for the land. It's your children who you're so concerned about. They're the ones that will be free. They'll be brave. I'd like to read into this a little bit. Imagine if the Jewish people would have gone from Egypt to Israel. Now, obviously, from slavery to freedom. But in their mind, how would they have appreciated the freedom? It would have always been with the background, we were slaves. And look how different it is today. So, yesteryear, our babies were being thrown into the Nile River. Today, our babies are being brought up in our beautiful tradition. Yesteryear, we were persecuted and the Egyptians found us repulsive. Today, we are well accepted and well respected. Now, do you really think that Israel that provides that, is that all that Israel provides? A haven for Jewish people in case of trouble? No. Israel is a place of holiness. It's a place of development. It's a place where goodness becomes better and where the material gets refined and transformed into the spiritual. So perhaps Hashem said, I'm not going to take those people that still remember Egypt. I won't bring them into Israel because they really will not appreciate the greatness of Israel. But what about their children? Their children never experienced slavery. Their children never experienced persecution. In fact, their children never even experienced want. They had man from heaven, water from a rock. They were surrounded by the clouds of glory. They were taught by Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, and they were being led by God himself. You can't get better than that. And yet, Hashem says to this generation, I want you to leave a place of goodness and comfort to go to a different state, into the existence of Israel. Why? Because you will truly connect to God, not in the wilderness, but through the land. In other words, Israel won't be a haven, a rescue place, an emergency. In case you're stuck somewhere, go to Israel where you'll be protected. No. Israel is the place for a Jew to grow. In fact, it's a place for humanity to aspire. This is the holy land. This is the holy city. There's a holy temple. There's a holy nation. Everyone gets elevated with this mindset. Getting back to today in America. Why would American Jews pick themselves up and go to Israel? Of course, the Mashiach will come and promise us what? No persecution? Thank God, and may it be until the Mashiach actually comes. There is no persecution. What's he going to promise us? More money? Nicer houses? A better income? Better education? We have that available. No. Well, Mashiach will offer us and say, look, it's good and comfortable. Do you want to grow? Do you want to truly excel? Most importantly, do you really want to connect to God? Come to Israel. Come to the Holy Land. I will lead you and teach you. You'll be reunited with your brothers and sisters. The Bible will come alive. God will become real to you. And American Jewry, as a symbol of all Jews, will walk, in fact, maybe march proudly into the land, not be out of duress and not out of a rescue. We need to be rescued, but no, the desire to grow and to express our love for God. I think that this generation, which is anticipating the coming of Mashiach at any moment, could be truly likened to that generation that grew up in the wilderness, that had everything they needed, and yet followed Joshua to cross the Jordan, fight for the land, and inhabit the land. With God's help, we won't have to fight for the land. It will be given to us, but we will have to fight for it in a spiritual sense. And we will conquer that land, and we will conquer it with love, with affection, with pride, and with joy. Shalom.